Well, hello Glue Troopers, Max here, and as promised I'm going to do a video on this Eduard Profipack P-51D Mustang 148 scale. Now, first off, starting from the very top, this has one of the best boxes I've ever seen on a kit model. It is extremely sturdy. In fact, I dare say almost overbuilt. And I'm going to be honest, it's a little hard without tearing it to get it open. It's such a tight fit, but it's a great box, and everything's wrapped up in plastic, as you would expect. The kit includes excellent decals for a wide variety of paint schemes, and the parts themselves are very nicely made. I did not see a hint of flash anywhere on the model, and the parts are very clearly laid out. One thing I really appreciate is they are numbered in sequence, no hunting around. For example, with Runner Tree Alpha, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the Alpha. Now you will have to use the Runner Tree map because they are not labeled. Alpha, you'll have to look in the instruction sheet to see which one of these is Alpha. However, you might need a flashlight or magnifying glass because the numbers are extremely small. But like I say, they're in sequence, which makes things a lot easier. You have the wings and tail feathers on one part. You have the fuselage halves and some other airframe components on another. Then you get into the propellers. You get into the wheels and drop tanks. And they're all nice. It's very nicely laid. One of the best organized I've ever seen. I wish those numbers were a little bigger, and I wish they would put the letter on the actual runner. If they did put the letter on the runner tree, I couldn't find it. You have two completely separate instrument panels, and they are photo etched, pre-painted. They're beautiful. You have very crisp, beautiful instructions. However, there are a couple of spots where the diagrams on the instructions leave a little question exactly how something is supposed to be positioned, but overall, not bad. You have these beautiful color patterns to show you how to detail the model and which decal goes where, and you also have an unmarked master that shows where all the little label decals go, which is generic to all the airplanes. The acrylic parts are excellent. You have 3 separate canopies because there are slight variations depending on which airplane you're going to make. And of course, you have to check the instructions to make sure you get the right propeller, the right exhaust stack, and the right canopy, as well as the correct instrument panel for the specific plane you are building. For a 148 scale model, this is unquestionably the most detailed kit I've ever built. In fact, it's like Eduard set out to out-Tamiya. And I dare say they succeeded, at least to some degree. Be forewarned, there are a lot of tiny parts, and some of them can be put in backwards, and they are side specific. So double check those instructions. This kit has absolutely the most detailed cockpit I've ever built. Separate framing so you can actually paint the green interior on the walls before putting in the framing that holds all of the equipment. A lot of tiny parts such as trim wheels and things like that. A lot of parts on the radio with a couple of separate options there. So again, read the instructions carefully depending on how much of a detail-oriented builder you are. I will tell you right now that this does not come with a pilot figure, which of course, no problem. There's plenty of 148 scale pilot figures out there. I believe this is because the kit was intended to be displayed canopy open on the ground without a pilot, so you can see all the magnificent detail they included. Which brings up another little issue. The acrylic canopies include the frame to the canopy in acrylic. Now, it does come with a mask, and it comes with several different curved pieces of tape for the different canopies. So make sure you have the right little mask for the particular canopy you choose. That can get a little tricky. They're really hard to see. They're not labeled, so you have to figure that out on your own, but they work great. The fit is absolutely exemplary, except for the fuselage halves. It took a lot of pressure to get the fuselage halves to seal, and you don't have much in the way of guide pins. But that was easily solved with a couple of clamps, and for the most part, the fit was excellent. One thing I really appreciated is that the wheels come in 4 separate parts. Of course, you have to glue the tire halves together, but the inboard and outboard wheel are separate, so they can be pre-painted. That makes life a lot easier because you don't have to mask the tire off. Of course, you do have to wait for the paint to completely dry before you press them into place, but that was operator headspace and timing. All in all, this kit is almost ridiculously detailed for 1 to 48 scale. I had virtually no problems with the fit. The instructions are good, and the runner trees are beautifully organized in numerical sequence. Just make sure you label which one is A, B, C, D, etc., because I didn't see it impressed on the runner tree. The decals are outstanding. Very thin, easy to wrinkle, so be careful, but they are very good. I didn't even have to use Solvaset on them. Although in hindsight, perhaps maybe I should go back and brush a little on that tailpiece. The acrylic parts are good, except there are on some of the bubble canopy some slight seams showing, so those of you who are very particular about that may want to burnish them off. I didn't worry with it. And of course the acrylic includes the canopy frame, so you have to do a full masking, but of course that's not very hard on a P-51, and they give you the mask. So overall, I really have no complaints about this kit. One of the canopies that I'd painted went walkabout. I have no idea how I could lose a part that big. So fortunately, with the extra canopies, I can just put another one on. And that's all I have to say about that. Great kit. Eduardo knocked this one out of the park. Makes a fine looking model with a lot of options and a lot of spare decals for the extra decal stash. You guys take care of yourselves. I hope you enjoyed this brief video. We'll see you next time, and as always, model on. What do you mean I got the tail feather stripes on wrong? I got them on backwards. Jeez! What the frick are you doing? Can you not see straight? That's it. Now I gotta go out there and fix it. Gotta take them off. It's just not fair.